Barbershop Talk. Donovan Bailey here on behalf of the man, Andre Crockett. We have the incomparable, the local blues sensation, Annie Mack here today to celebrate with us. So we're going to get right into it with Annie Mack.
You say you want love, joy and peace too, but you run and hide, baby, when they come calling on you. You say you're tired of suffering, you just want a better life. But when the truth comes to set you free, you stay shackled to the lies. I don't know if you're ready to lay your burdens down. Don't be so afraid to lay them all down. Hope you understand, baby. You gotta die to truly live. Yes. You say nobody wants to help you, so you stay in the same place, blaming everybody else. Yes, 'cause it's too much work to change. You say now's the time that you lay down your head low, but it just don't feel right, nah, to let all of the craziness go. Just let it go. I don't know if you're ready to lay your burdens down. Don't be so afraid, lay them all down. Hope you understand, baby. You gotta die to truly live. Yes, to truly live. Yes. Don't be so afraid, lay them all down. Hope you understand, baby. I don't know if you're ready to lay your burdens down. Don't be so afraid, lay them all down. Hope you understand, baby. You gotta die to truly live, yes, to truly live, yes. You say you want love, you say you want love, you say you want love, baby. Oh, but you're running high when they come calling. Hey, you have to run and hide. You say you want love, say you want love, you say you want love, baby. Oh, but I don't believe that you're ready. I don't know if you're ready. Hey, you say you want love. You say you want love.
All right, that was awesome. Thank you so much. And I forgot to introduce you.
Yes.
Yes.
Paul Sullivan.
Paul Sullivan, the guitarist and husband of Annie Mack. So Well, great. Thank you for coming out. We'll have another song from Annie Mack. Annie, if we can have you sit there on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Paul, we can have you. We'll get you actually we'll put you kind of behind Annie Mack here.
Okay. Sit here or?
No, I'm gonna sit there.
Oh, I see.
There.
Okay.
I'm gonna put you over here
Okay,
behind
you bet.
Annie Mack. You can.
So Annie, well, welcome.
There.
Just to let the audience know, this is Barbershop Talk, and we're going and growing and getting things going, and as we grow, work with us. We're adding things on to be a local voice for the urban community here in Rochester. So if you have any comments, questions, or you want to come out and help us, come on out. But like I said, today we have Annie Mack, local blues sensation, and thank you for coming. You're fresh off of Switzerland, so how was Switzerland?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and I ate a lot. And I walked around and just enjoyed my time, having a little bit of time away, and also working.
Right.
It was a working vacation, if you
Right.
will.
So it was a blues festival.
It's one of the top blues festivals in the world, and I was very
wow.
humbled to get it. It's very competitive to get in there. And quite honestly, I hustle and I work, but I don't have a lot of the name and the ranking that a lot of the other
Oh,
artists
please,
have.
girl,
So
you
it's
got
like, it was kind of like, I don't know how I got in here, but I'm here. So that was,
Wow.
you make the best of it and you work and you learn. I always go as a student. It's never, an issue of, I've arrived. It's always, I go, I do my thing, and then I learn. How can I get better? How can I?
So who did you see when you were there? What other
yeah.
jazz artists did you see, or blues
Sure,
artists?
absolutely. It was a really cool lineup this time around. They have different themes, I think. And this one was really about people who have something to say.
Oh.
The artists were very, whether it was social, political, spiritual, they really opened it up to kind of have a very diverse lineup. There was a lot of traditional, kind of down home blues, more acoustic. There was some old school, like UK,
Right.
soul, 60s soul. So it's
Right.
very diverse, and I was very happy to be a part of it.
Nice. So the food you ate obviously wasn't American food.
No.
Anything unique you ate over there?
The veal, the baby veal. I like meat, but as I get older, I realize that I don't need as much.
Right.
I'm still a sucker for
Veal,
ribs and junk like that. But I've always, I have kind of like a missions background in the sense like, wherever I go, I will always eat. There will never be me adhering to any special. They could tell me if that's what people have and that's what they have to offer, then and I'm in that culture, that's not there. So that's what I've learned. Like, I will not starve wherever I go. And it was really great. Very traditional. A lot of gravy, a lot of they pride themselves on their hospitality.
Oh,
They pride themselves on their things of that nature. Their cuisine's great, but it was just a lot of fun.
Well, great. Well, one of the things I'm fascinated about, and Paula, you can jump in here too, is your journey to being this blues sensation that you are. Now, I've been here, I think, 15 or so years. And how long would you say your career has been more or less full-time in entertainment?
Honestly, like legitimate, I'd say in the past 3 years. Just
Okay.
kind of hit
Really?
that. Maybe even 2 years, 2 to 3 years, to where I still pursue, but I'm being pursued
Okay.
at certain levels, and so it makes a big difference. And just like as I stated, raising and getting.
And that's why I think you're such an inspiration, not only for our community, but for our youth, because in effect, you're homegrown, and you jumped out there, kind of a second career, maybe?
Absolutely.
So what got in your head, say, I want to be a blues singer?
Yeah,
Was it something you grew up with it?
The audacity, as we grow up, I'm just gonna generalize in Black homes, you grew up with a variety of music. I think it wasn't just, I listened to a lot of gospel and I listened to a lot of soul and and I didn't understand it. You feel it, but you don't always understand it when you're growing up. Like grown folks music. And we listened to a lot of Southern soul. That was like nasty, kind of interesting, but you didn't understand the grown folks music. So long story short, my mother passed away. I was just really searching, for some healing, and I was searching in a way to make things right. And initially I just wanted to write. I was just writing to get out my feelings and emotions and to address some things. And the music part came a little bit after that. And I thought, I'll just get up and do some spoken word, and I'll just get up and jam with people, and I met people that were kind of artists and who just let me get up. I actually used to face the wall. I couldn't even get through a whole song at one point. So, but I just really felt the need to just get it out. When things changed for me, I started to get gigs and I started to hustle and I started, and I would lie and stuff. But then, you have experience? I'm like, yeah, man. All the experience you need. Because I was really hungry but really silly and not understanding that you got to be educated and you have to work on your craft. But there was a time, fast forward a little bit, I was playing a festival over in, I think it was like somewhere over in Wisconsin, and I had written these songs, and one was called Saving Grace, and I wrote it for my daughter, and it basically kind of dealt with breaking the cycle of abuse and just honoring my daughter and celebrating her, which, our relationship is a lot different than how I grew up. And there was a woman that was crying in the audience, and I could see her, and I just remember saying, come over and see me, when I go sign CDs, come over and see me. And she came over and she shared with me how her daughter passed away, and this was a really beautiful song that reminded her. And it was a cathartic thing. That's how I got into music. It was a cathartic thing. And then eventually I was able to kind of get past myself, because you have to get self-healing. We're always in that process. But and then to be able, as you know, to be able to, I don't want to say minister, but to be able to minister or work with people, or you have to know how to, navigate that. So for me, like, it changed when I realized that people were actually being touched and paying attention to what I had to say. Then it was a responsibility. And then it became conviction of, you better have something to say that's worthwhile, that goes beyond how you look, how they look, who's doing what, you've got more to offer than that. And that's when I kind of was like, okay, and it became a very, like a responsibility.
Was that scary when it hit you? Like, wow.
It was, because I didn't know what to do with it. I've had a lot of mentors. I've had a lot of people who walk with me, and they understand. And my job is not to, I don't do what you do, and I don't do it, but my job is to, always encourage and to share my story and to be honest about it, and just to really, that there is hope, that there's hope in the most crazy. I believe a big part of my journey is just God's glory, because there's no way, like, coming into it as late as I have and doing the things I have, it's not, it's that ain't, I'm okay, I get the job done, but that's the beauty of kind of being an underdog, or being a person that maybe, that's the cool part about it. And so I love older people and just being like, here's where I come from, and here's where I'm at, and you're gonna be all right, you got some work to do.
So was you nervous, because we're in the Midwest, and Midwest is primarily Caucasian, right? And you're coming in singing in clubs or wherever you're singing at. What was your thoughts early on?
Yeah, it's like a predominantly white audience. That's the thing about it. I mean, blues music has changed. Blues and roots has, like, you got a brother, a Jewish brother had hit me. He said, just because they don't do the traditional doesn't mean they don't do blues. He said Jill Scott was a blues singer. He said, he was breaking it down. I was like humbled. I was like, you're right. It has evolved. However, there are still warriors out there, traditional, and I would consider myself to be somewhat traditional. My foundation is in understanding the history of blues and what it served our culture, and how we use it to talk in the fields, and how we use it to express the frustration and anger of being in a society that hates you and surviving and trying to live. And being a blues musician allowed you to say what you wanted to say. You could be that. Could be that. So that's something I hold on to. And my brothers and sisters, like down in Chicago, who are holding it down, and who are like down in New Orleans, it's like, you go cut heads. So I have that. I have that part of me that's like,
Well, to add something to that, music from the African American community was a big part of civil rights, right? Because that's where they could say those things, and white people would listen.
Exactly.
And it wasn't a confrontational situation. They actually enjoyed the music, and the message came with it, right? So it was important, kind of, to the civil rights.
So is there I hear that there's, like with Gary Clark Jr., there's almost a resurgence that is coming back in the black community. Would you say that? Or is neo soul, when you say it's gone different ways. Is neo soul that new blues, at least for the?
I believe that. I think there are people that they're proud. Like I've had brothers and sisters come up to me who are like, I wasn't even gonna come out to this festival today, but I'm so happy and I'm proud. And it feels good because it is a music that was taken from us, that you look and, I got to work twice, 3 times as hard to get certain opportunities that, white women may have, that white women, they got, and I'm not saying that to be, it's just, there's something about the identifying with it.
Yeah.
So when you see, it's always more powerful when you identify visually with, it's like when I was in school, I was very thankful that I had Black teachers. I was very thankful that I saw people in my community that look like me. So it's important to have that. And Gary Clark Jr. is bad, and I tell you what, he's traditional. As much as he is kind of out there and bringing it to, his foundation is
very cool.
Yeah, he's very cool.
So where are you originally from? And that's can I say that's a question in our communities? Because we all feel like we never grew up here, or not everybody, but where are you originally from? If that's not offensive.
I'm from North Minneapolis. I'm a North Side lady, and I grew up. We didn't have no car, so when people would be like, "Oh, we're gonna meet," I'm like, "Let me check my bus schedule." I'd be like, "That's on the number 5. That's on the number 14. The number 22." And so I'm a North Side woman.
That's all right. Now, that's my sister here. We hood. We certified. We certified. I like that. So I mean, I know a little bit about your history and a little bit about your background and stuff like that. And has this been therapeutic for you? Because we don't really go to see psychiatrists and mental. We know that it's run rampant in our communities.
Absolutely.
And has this been a way of healing?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so incredibly thankful that I've addressed things that have been taboo in our community, mental health being the biggest one. I can imagine my mother, I have a lot more compassion and understanding as a mother, and I'm fortunate enough to have a husband. I couldn't imagine raising 2 children. We didn't have a car. We were real humble. We hand washed our clothes. We had a garden. I mean, I wouldn't change it for anything because it taught me how to survive and to thrive. However, but my mother didn't have the tools to deal with the stress and coming from an abusive background, you got to learn how to break the cycle and to have tools to work. And she didn't have them. So I'm not justifying, but like growing up, if that's how you were handled, if you were physically abused, if you were verbally abused, if you left home at the age of 13 because your circumstances were messed up and you've been surviving all that's my mother's story. She left home when she was 13 because she's like, I'm not going to be taken advantage of. So if you realize that it's an issue, but you don't know how to, you don't have the education or someone to walk with you and say, you don't got to beat your kids. You can think about it. No, so you can threaten it, but that does not have to be the first option. Or even saying, you can go to the other room. You can go across the street. You can leave, do what you need to do. Those are things in our community that we really suffer from, that we really, and so understanding what I do now, I definitely have a lot more compassion and a lot more, oh man, she had a lot to go up against.
Yeah. So how did you grow into that? I mean, what was some process, some steps that somebody said they witnessed abuse and stuff like that, and what was the process?
Going to college, I went to school down here at the Bible College, and it hit me to get therapy. There was a lot of people that had major issues when it was a Christian college, and it's like all these people, man, they brought some heavy stuff that had never been addressed or dealt with. And it's a generational thing too. It's not just African. It's like if you're from the generation, our parents are from the generation, like they don't apologize. Our parents are from the generation of, you just deal with it, you just muscle through, and so I went to therapy, and it was when I first learned that I wasn't crazy and that a lot of the things I did were out of survival. A lot of the things I did was because it was such a traumatic, there was a lot of trauma. And I didn't know that. So it's just, I've been able to work through it, and with the music has helped so much, and just being honest and being, always trying to tell the truth in my journey. I don't ever want to, but I don't want to leave people in despair. That's important as well. You never want to get stuck in despair. It's always important to bring the hope aspect. But I like to tell the whole truth. I like this is where it's been, but however, this is where we're at. We can't live there. So.
And you like to keep it inspirational. I remember a couple of years ago, Facebook post, I'll never forget it.
Mm-hmm.
You said something about struggling with an issue, and you said something about just being content with you can't get over. I'm just gonna work through it, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Very, very powerful to me, and I still remember that.
It's
So
hard.
you embrace it as a vocal artist,
Mm-hmm.
impacting people positively.
The ugly, you know, you embrace the people. It's the strangest thing with music because I think we live such a, you know, you live such a hard life, or you're so shut down emotionally,
Right.
you don't know how to. It's one of the few things that will come in.